guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video we are going to be working on a dress. I'll be attaching some photos as I talk. I'll be working on a dress of a new pattern that I just learned, so I decided to create a garment with it, and this video is in collaboration with Hobiam Yarns. So for this project you'll need yarn, and for the yarn I'll be using Himalaya. This yarn was from Hobiam Yarns. If you would like to purchase this particular yarn, I'll be putting a link in the description box so that you can get the same exact yarn as I used. And then you'll also use a tapestry needle. You'll need a measuring tape and a pair of scissors. And for the hook, I'll be using a 4mm crochet hook. So let's get started. You're going to grab your yarn. This yarn is 100% acrylic, but it's really soft and has a very good feel to the skin. So you're going to start off with a slip knot, and you're going to chain up 8. So 1, 2, 3, that counts as the very first double crochet, and then chain 5 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that counts as a double crochet, chain 5, which is a total of 8 chains. And then chain 1 more, which is 9, and then go into the very first chain that you made. So we have a total of 9 chains, and we are going into the very first chain that we made with a double crochet. So this is what you should have. You've created some sort of V-stitch, and this just is worked from top to bottom. So after this we are going to row 2, and for row 2 you're going to chain up 3, which counts as a double crochet, and then chain 1 more. So we have 1 double crochet, chain 1, and then you're going to go into this space with a total of 3 double crochets. So 1, 2, and 3. And then you're going to chain 1 more, and then you're going to count from the bottom here. So you have 1 chain, 2 chains, 3 chains, and in that chain 3 you're going to go in there with 1 double crochet, and that marks the end of row 2. So we've created 2 spaces on the sides, and we are going to be forming a triangular shape. So we are going to row 3, and for row 3 you're going to chain up 5 and turn your work and place a single crochet in the very first chain 1 space. So in there, in that space, you're going to go in with a single crochet, and then you're going to chain up 5, skip over all these 3 double crochets, and in this chain 1 space, remember we did chain 4, which counted as a double crochet, chain 1. So in that chain 1 space you're going to place a single crochet like that, and then you're going to chain up 2 and then double crochet on top of the chain 3. So 1, 2 on top of the chain 3, you're going to go in there with a double crochet. So what this means is, remember we started our row with chain 5, and we've ended our row with chain 2 double crochet, and the double crochet usually we chain 3, so it's more like chain 5 because it's a double crochet, chain 2. So if we replace the double crochet with chain 3, then that means we've balanced this side with this side. So that marks the end of row 3, and we are going to row 4. And for row 4 we are going to chain up 4, which counts as a double crochet, chain 1. Row 4 is going to resemble row 2. So chain 4, turn your work, place 3 double crochets in this chain space. 1, 2 and 3. After that you're going to chain 1 and then go into the chain 5 space and place a total of 3 double crochets, and then chain 1 and then go into this chain 5 space and place a total of 3 double crochets, chain 1 and 1 more double crochet in that very space. So this is what you should have. The reason why I was saying that row 4 resembles row 2 is because, okay, the number of the double crochet clusters will increase, because this was only 1 here, but here we have 3, but it looks the same exact because we have a space here and a space here, and we have that space coming back here and the space coming back here at this point. So this pattern is a 2-row repeat, and from now on we are going to just keep alternating between the 2 rows. So we are going to row 5, and for row 5 you're going to repeat the same exact thing you did for row 3 here. So chain up 5, turn your work, single crochet in that chain 1 space, chain 5, single crochet in the next chain 1 space, chain 5, single crochet in the next chain 1 space, sorry. So we are creating chain 5 loops, chain 5, single crochet in the next chain 1 space, and now we've come to the end, and remember we have this loop here. That means you're going to chain up 2 and then double crochet in that very space to create that last loop on the opposite side. So this is what you should have. And then we're going to row 6, chain up 4, turn your work. Row 6 resembles row 2 and row 4, so the even rows look the same and the odd rows look the same. So chain 4, double crochet 3 times in this first loop, and then chain 1, 3 double crochets in the next chain 5 loop, chain 1, 3 double crochets in the next chain 5 loop, chain 1, 3 double crochets in the next chain 5 loop, chain 1, 3 double crochets in the next loop, which is the chain 5 loop at the edge, and then chain 1 and place 1 last double crochet at the end in that same space. So we've created this, and you can see we are working our work while widening towards the upper side, towards the lower side, sorry, because we've worked this dress from, this is the top part, we are moving downwards. And you can notice that row 2 had 1 group of 3 double crochets, row 4 had 3, row 6 has 5. That means they keep increasing by 2. So 1, 3, 5, and after row 7, that means we shall have 7 groups of 3 double crochets. But let me show you how to do that. So we are going to row 7, and we are going to chain up 5, turn your work, single crochet, in the chain 1 space, chain 5, single crochet in the next chain 1 space, chain 5, single crochet in the next chain 1 space, chain 5, single crochet in the next chain 1 space, chain 5, single crochet in the next chain 1 space, chain 5, single crochet in the next chain space, and at the end don't forget to chain 2 and then double crochet in that very space to create that last loop. And now we are going to row 8, and for row 8 we are going to chain up 4, turn your work. Every even row starts with chain 4, so chain 4, which counts as a double crochet chain 1, turn your work, double crochet 3 times in the very first loop. So that's what we have, chain 1, double crochet 3 times in the next chain space, chain 1, double crochet 3 times in the next chain 5 space, and continue to do this until the end of the row. So when you come to the end, don't forget this last one will get 3 double crochets, of course after chaining 1. After chaining this one, 3 double crochets, chain 1, and 1 last double crochet in the very last space. So this is what we have for row 8. So the odd rows are shorter than the even rows. The even rows are the ones which literally make our work grow. The odd rows are a bit short, the stitches are a bit short, and they create this mesh effect. So we are going to continue alternating between these 2 rows until you're going to measure around your bust. So me, around my bust I have about 30 to 32 inches, so I'll consider 32 for a medium size. So if it's 32, then you're going to have to divide that 32 by 2, and then you'll remain with 16 inches. So whatever measurement around your bust, me, the widest part of my bust is 30 to 30 inches around there, and I'm going to be using 32 for a size medium. So my demonstration is for a size 32 inches, the biggest part of your bust. So whatever measurement you get, you're going to divide that by 2, and for me I'll remain with 16, and I'm going to divide this 16 by 2 and I'll remain with 8. I'm going to build my triangle until it measures 8 inches. So imagine you had 40 inches around the widest part of your bust. You're going to divide that by 2 and you will remain with 20 inches, and divide that 20 by 2 and you remain with 10 inches. And you're going to grow your triangle until the base of the triangle is 10 inches. So I'm going to grow my triangle until 8 inches because I'm considering 32 as my measurement around my bust. So I'm going to keep growing my triangle until I have a total of 8 inches at the base of the triangle, and then I'll be back to show you what to do next. So I've gone ahead to work my triangle until I got a measurement of 8 inches at the base. It's a bit longer than 8 inches, but you should stop on a row that has the chain 5 loops. And when I measure the base of my triangle, it's about 8.5 inches, but I'm going to cater for that so that we get back to 8 inches. So you're going to go ahead and make an identical piece. You're going to have 2 of these. so that we can cover both sides of our bust. So go ahead and do another one of these. So I've done mine, and let me show you how that looks like. So this is how mine looks like. So you can see we are catering for the bust area, but since this is a bit longer than 8 inches, we are going to do something to try to bring it back to 8, because if this is a bit long, then it may give us a loose fitting, but it doesn't really matter. But I'm going to show you how we can do that. So let me get this. I haven't cut my yarn from the second piece, and the next thing that I'm going to do is chain up 4 and turn my work. And instead of going here, since we want to reduce this measurement a bit, so we are going to do the same exact thing. We shall do the reduction here at the end of the row. So you're going to go into the very first space with 3 double crochets, normally like we were working before. Chain 1, 3 double crochets in the next chain 5 loop. So this is the row that's going to join the 2 cups together, because these are our cups for this dress. Continue to do 3 double crochets, chain 1 all the way across. So I'm just speeding through this because you already know what to do. So if you got the exact measurement without it like being a bit longer, that's totally fine. You don't have to do the reduction. But for me, who got more than 8 inches that I wanted, I will have to do a small reduction for my base so that I get a perfect fitting for my dress. So when you come here, when you have 2 loops left, you're going to fold over this loop to this side. So you see what I've done? There's this last loop, and then there is the chain 5 loop. I'm going to fold over the small loop onto the big loop, and I'm going to go in there into both loops at the same time after my chain 1, and I place 3 double crochets in there. So we've done the reduction at this point. You can see this, it's no longer like widening to this side. And now you're going to introduce your second piece, and you're going to place it in a way that this, whatever side you choose to use, but I'm going to place it because this cup, the string was on this side. That's why we've come all the way back to this side. So I want the same direction. So I'll have this string on this side, and I fold it over like this. So you see what I'm doing? There's this loop here and this loop. I'm going to fold over like this, and I'll work into the loops at the same time. So chain 1, and then go into those 2 loops at the same time and place your 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. And you're going to ignore this string. Maybe we shall need it later. I'm not going to cut it. And after doing that, you can see we've reduced it to the back. Actually, here we reduced to the front. You see this fold over is at the front. So let me correct that. You're going to identify the side that you want to be on your right side, and you don't want the fold over to be at the front side. So I want this, the side where I work my even rows, to be my front side. So that means I'll be folding over to the back so that we have the fold at the back of the dress, because this will look funny at the front. So I'm going to go into both loops with my 3 double crochets. So I've done the fold over at the back of my dress. At this point I've already identified the front and the back. So you see what I have, and then you're going to chain 1, and then when it comes to this side you're going to still fold over to the back side, and then go into both loops and place your 3 double crochets. 1, 2 and 3. So this is what we have at this point, and I'm going to go all the way across. Chain 1, 3 doubles, chain 1, 3 doubles, so let me show you how the back looks like. The back side has got the folds at the back. You can see them. They bulge a bit, but not so much. And this is my front side. My front side is the side where I work my even rows. So this is an even row. It should be row 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. This is row 12. So we're almost coming to the end of our row 12, and the increase on the edges is not going to change. So when you're coming to the end of your row 12, you're going to go into this space, or whatever row you're on, because we are going to be at different rows at this point depending on the measurement of your bust. So we are going to chain 1 and then go into this space with 3 double crochets, chain 1 and 1 last double crochet, just like we were doing before. So we are still growing the sides of our dress, so nothing changes at the edge, and even now that we've joined, nothing is going to change from now on. Instead of having this, now we are going to be having this widening outwards to form our coverage for the dress. So we are starting our row 13. This is my row 13, and I'm going to chain up 5. Remember, your odd rows start with chain 5, single crochet in the very first chain 1 space, chain 5, single crochet in the next chain 1 space, and continue that. And when you get here, this is a chain 1 space, so nothing is going to change. We are just going to create chain 5 loops up to the end of our row. So go ahead and do that, and I'll meet you at this point. So we've come to the end of our row, and I'm going to be placing my chain 2 and then 1 last double crochet in that same space. So you can see nothing has really changed from what we've been doing before. The only difference is our row is now longer than the previous rows. So we are going to continue building our dress towards this side. And for row 14, let me show you. You're going to chain up 4, turn your work, this is an even row, and you start it with a chain 4, which counts as a double crochet chain 1. Place 3 double crochets in the very first loop, and that's what you have. And then chain 1, 3 double crochets in the next loop, chain 1, 3 double crochets in the next loop, and you're going to repeat this all the way across, until you get to this point where you will place 3 double crochets, chain 1, and 1 last double crochet all in that same space. So we are still widening our dress. You're going to work these 2 rows until you have the base of your dress measuring half of your hip measurement. So right now I have about 20 inches, and I'm going to be working a dress of 40 inches hip measurement, which is a size medium. So you're going to work your dress until you have this length measuring a total of your hip measurement. So if your size medium, let me say your hip measurement is 40 inches, you're going to keep working this until this measures a total of 40. So I still have about 20 more inches to go, because right now I'm at 20. I'm going to do my work until this measures a total of 40 inches all the way across. So continue to do that, and I'll meet you back when I have my dress ready. So I'm coming to the end of my last row, and I've done a total of 31 rows to get to the measurement of 40 inches all the way across. So from this corner to this corner, you should be having your hip measurement. So mine is 40 inches, and at this point we are going to do something different. We are going to take a measurement. So you're going to make sure from this corner to this corner is your hip measurement, and then you're going to lay your work flat and determine which point is your waist measurement. So keep moving down until you get your waist measurement. Mine is 25. That means I achieved my 25th inch mark at around this point, like 1. Okay, let's count these rows, these even rows. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So at this point, let me count the rows from down here because it will be easier. 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So on my 21st row, I got my waist measurement, my upper waist measurement, the one they call the waistline. So I'll keep that in mind, because this point is the one that's going to shape our dress. So keep that in mind. Just determine the point that had your upper waist measurement, your waistline measurement. Mine was at point my 21st row. So I'll keep that in mind and then continue to work until I get my hip measurement at the base. And once you have that, you should make sure you've ended on this row that has the chain 5 loops. And now we are going to fold over our work like this, because now it's time to join and we start working in rounds. So I ended my row with chain 2 double crochet in the last space. So the next thing that I'm going to do is to slip stitch into this first loop on this side. So slip stitch there, or if you find this a bit too long, we are going to just overlap this side until, because right now the right side of our work is on the inside, because the fold here is on this side. That means when we are working at this point, we are on the wrong side of our work. So we are going to overlap this side onto this side, like this. Just overlap this side onto this side, and then slip stitch into the next loop, the chain 5 loop. Ignore this and go into this with a slip stitch, and then you're going to chain up 3 and turn your work to the opposite side, and then you're going to go into both loops. So go into this loop and this loop and place a total of 2 double crochets, so that will be a total of 3, and then chain up 1 and then 3 double crochets in the next chain 5 loop, and go all the way across, chaining 1 and 3 double crochets in the next loop. So from this point onwards, you know what to do. So let me turn my work to the right side and I show you what I meant by that. So you can see the overlap is on the inside of the work, and then this is the right side of our work. And I told you I want the right side to always have the row of the 3 double crochets, and right now we are working on the right side of our work because we've turned our work onto the right side. So you're going to go all the way around, and I'll meet you at this point and I show you what to do from here. So we are coming to the end of our row, and I'm going to chain up 1 here and then go into the next chain 1 space where we put this, the next chain 5 space where we put this slip stitch, and we are going to place a total of 3 double crochets, and then you're going to chain up 1 and slip stitch on top of the very first chain 3 that we made. So slip stitch there, and now we're going to chain up we're going to turn our work. We're going to be working the odd rows on the wrong side of our work. So single crochet in this very space after turning your work, and then chain up 5 and single crochet in the next chain 1 space, chain 5, single crochet in the next chain 1 space, all the way around. So for the odd rows, we shall be working on the wrong side of our work. You can see I'm flipping my work onto the wrong side, and then the even rows, we shall come back to the right side of our work. So let me go all the way around with my chain 5 loops, and then I'll show you what to do for the next row. So we're coming to the end of our row, our round, sorry, because now we are working in rounds. And I've chained 5 and placed a single crochet in the next chain 1 space, and now I'm going to chain up 5 and place a slip stitch in the very first single crochet that we made. So slip stitch there, and then turn your work, and this is what we are going to be doing for all even rows from this point onwards. Slip stitch into that very loop, chain up 3 and place 2 more double crochets. So that's a total of 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets in the next chain 5 loop, and go all the way around, doing that until the end of the row. So go all the way around, repeating this, and then when it comes to the next row, you're going to do the same exact thing that you did here. So let me go all the way around. I'll show you one more time how to work on the odd rows, and then we shall see what's next. So I've come to the end of the row and I've placed my last 3 double crochets in the chain 5 loop, and I'll chain up 1, slip stitch into the 3rd chain of the very first chain 3 on top of it, make a slip stitch, turn your work, make a single crochet in that very space. So that's how to start the odd rows. That's the same exact thing that we did at this point, and then chain up 5 and single crochet in the next chain 1 space all the way around. And we are going to keep alternating between these 2 rows until you get the length of the dress that you want. So go ahead and keep working these 2 rows and get the length of the dress that you want. This is going to be a personal preference. Some people prefer long dresses, some prefer short. So go ahead and get the length that you want for your dress, and I'll meet you back when I have mine. Okay, so now that we have achieved the length of the dress that we want, you can make it up to your feet if you want, but I just went on to do some more rounds so that I got some length to my dress, and I'll be attaching some photos to show you how long my dress is. The more you do some more rows, the more beautiful this pattern looks. So after this, we are going to do some shaping for our dress, and that is the waist shaping, and then also attaching straps to our dress. So you're going to turn your work to the back side, and remember when I told you mark the point where this was measuring your waistline measurement. So for me it was at row 21, and it's at this point. I hope you remember me mentioning that part. This was the point where this dress was measuring my waistline measurement. So you're going to go down here to the base. You're going to turn your work on the wrong side because we are going to be attaching some parts. So here we are. You're going to mark those points. If you can't eyeball them, but I can eyeball mine. It's there and there. And you're going to grab your yarn, and we are going to be joining both sides. So you're going to grab this side and this side, and we are going to be sewing these 2 parts together. So I'm just attaching with 2 single crochets for each and every row. So 2 single crochets there, 2 single crochets on this side into the other side, and then you go to the next row, 2 single crochets, go to the next row, 2 single crochets, go to the next row, 2 single crochets, and continue all the way up until you get to that point that you marked for your waist measurement, your waistline measurement. Because you'll notice if you don't do this, this opening is going to be really low, almost at your butt, which we don't want, and the dress will be sagging. So I've attached mine until row 21, and this is how it looks like. And when you do this, you have that line that has been joined. So after this, you're going to chain up 1 and cut your yarn. So this is what we have after joining. You can see the dress has pulled in a bit and can create a better fitting around the waist, and then it goes on expanding towards the hip measurement. So we're going to turn our work to the right side. This dress won't have an edging. So we have this, and we are going to do another thing, which is the straps. So I've gone ahead to do one of the straps, and this is how it looks like. For those who usually watch my videos, you know exactly how to make this strap. For those who don't know, let's go ahead and learn how to make this strap. So you start with a slip knot, and then attach your yarn at that point where you want to attach the strap. There. And then you're going to chain up 3 and double crochet in that very space, and then chain up 3 and double crochet in between these 2 stitches. So double crochet, chain 3, double crochet, chain 3, double crochet. So we go on creating these small segments, and our strap is not as fragile as just a normal chain. So let's go ahead and make a total of 25 segments of these, and then at the end you'll chain up 1 and cut your yarn, and you'll have something like this. Okay, so I finished working on both my straps, and this is how my work looks like. These are the straps that are going to go behind your neck, and they'll just tie normally, and the back is going to be bare with nothing. It's an open back dress, so when you turn your work around like this, you'll see that, because after tying the straps, then you'll have an opening at the back, and then we've already shaped the waist area, then down to the hips, and then all the way down to where you want your dress to stop. So the next thing left is to weave in all your ends. I'm going to do that using a tapestry needle. I don't have one right now because I'm not in my usual spot where I work from, but I'll go ahead and weave in all my ends. That's the only thing left, and I hope you guys really liked this tutorial. I can't wait to see your creations of this with different colors, and thank you so much Hobiam Yarns for providing this amazing yarn for me to use. So I'll see you in my next video. Bye.